take us the rest of the way.
All right, well, thank you, Phil. I'm Darren Greekin, as Phil mentioned, architecture faculty. And last fall, around, I think it was, I don't know, when was it, John, that you sent out that email that said, hey, should we be doing this? Like September-ish? And the deadline was October 29th. And so we had a meeting, and we had some people that were interested, faculty that were interested, and we decided that we would go for it. So most teams spend about a year getting prepared to put together a proposal to put on one of these projects, and they incorporate it into classes and that. But we took it on anyway. We submitted a proposal, and we worked day and night and many evenings to put this together. And we were lucky enough, I don't know if I want to say lucky, but we put together a dang good proposal, and we were one of 16 international teams selected to compete in this project from the Department of Energy. So some of the things, what is this Solar Decathlon, right? It's an international competition. It's a student-designed and built net zero home. So the idea is that you students, you out here, will design and build this net zero house that's powered by solar energy. So some of those 16 teams that we see here, we have Switzerland down in the south, we have Daytona State, Georgia Institute, we have a university in Utrecht in the Netherlands, Missouri University, Northwestern Rice, Syracuse, Alabama, California Davis, Berkeley, Maryland, UNLV, which is a perennial, they're always sending in an entry, and ourselves, Washington University, and West Virginia. This is actually a pretty good slate of universities to compete against, and several of them are ones that continually have put in submitted and have built houses and brought them there. But there's also quite a few upstarts like ourselves that haven't done it in a few years or are the first time doing it. So when we build this, it's a contest, it's a competition, and we have to pay attention to some juried contests and some measured contests. So the juried contests are architecture, market appeal, engineering, communications, and water. So architecture is about the design, but that design is in terms of detail, in terms of the way that it functions, and also how it works with the second one, the market potential. So who is the client? Who is it for? How are you designing it? How does the architecture and the design work with that? But it also works with the engineering, because to create a net zero home, you have to balance both the design and the engineering aspect of it, because you have to have a tight envelope, you have to get all of the basics of passive design right, but then you also have to have the engineering and the systems all put together so that they coordinate and are building off of one another synergistically. So, and then we have the communications portion of it, which focuses on how do you, the students, tell the story of this design. So creating a market, what's the business plan for it? How does this design actually meet the intent of the client that you're saying? And it's also a component of being able to have presentations in front of the public. So when this is in Denver, Colorado, during the week of the competition, it's open to the public. So students, you will bring people through the project, explain it to them, explain it to the judges, and compete in that way. So communications is also a large part. Communications is also a big part of being able to raise money. Keep us out and use this as a marketing tool to raise money for the university, but also for this project. And then we have water, which is a new contest. This is brand new this year. And so this part of it is about how do you take water and deal with water in a way, in the same way we would deal with the energy. Thinking very carefully about where it's coming from, how do you treat it, where does it go. So in this kind of case, thinking about systems of recycling, filtering, how do you reuse the water, and how do you tell that story. So that's another big key factor, and I think that we're well positioned to help the students and help you guys develop that. Then we have the measured contest on the other side here, health and comfort. So they're going to measure indoor air quality, temperature ranges, humidity ranges, and so you have to keep the house within these set parameters, okay? And so those parameters are built around comfort and the comfort of a typical person in the place. The appliances, so washers, dryers, stoves, you have to cook meals, you have to do loads of laundry, you have to keep the freezer and the refrigerator within a various range of temps. Again, this is in a way to kind of keep you honest, that make sure that this is actually a real house and that somebody could really live in there, and you're not faking it out by turning off the fridge or whatever. And then the home life part of it is, again, this project is about, the DOE has developed this project to show how net zero homes could be incorporated in everyday life. That every house could be a net zero house without really having to take sacrifices in the way that we live in a daily way. So home life means that you have to run the computer, you have to watch some TV, you have to cook meals, you'll have a dinner party where you're going to bring two nights that you'll bring teams over and have a dinner party. You'll have a game night, so you'll play host games with other teams. And then this is another new category, innovation. Innovation is about, it's a measured category to some extent, but it's also, it's about how do we what are the innovative features based on the market potential, the engineering aspects, and what you're bringing to the table. So it's not necessarily we're creating this new widget, although that's definitely something that we want to do. But also it could be just as important to think about, here's this existing widget, and we can use this in a new and unique way. We can kind of hack it and make it function in a different way to make that better. So that's an aspect that we're really looking forward to, and that's a new category. And then there's energy balance. So energy balance is really at the core of what this project is about in terms of the net zero. Are you making sure that when you're doing all of these things that you're not using more energy than you're creating? Okay. Another piece of that home life that I forgot to mention that has a critical component to this energy balance is that there's a commuting aspect. So we'll have an electric vehicle, and you'll have to drive it 25 miles a day, and you have to charge it up, and then when the contest ends, it has to be charged up at the end of it. So that's a load that we also have to think about. But that also gives into some fun things about this project too, is that we have an alumni that has said that he's going to let us borrow his Tesla Roadster to be our vehicle. So that'll be a little fun piece that students will be able to drive that around every day. So that'll be cool. But there's also some cool things about the energy and innovation in that the car is a big battery, right? And if we start to think about it as an integrated system, couldn't we use that as storage at certain points of time, pull a little bit out when we need it, and start to think about the whole house as a system. And another new rule change is the fact that we can't have dedicated batteries. So there's a whole lot of potential there. So that's a rough overview of the contest and the ways in which the project will be evaluated. Well, I guess one little thing to mention too is that there's some big prize money for those that win. So the top prize is $300,000 for the university and for the project, and then it's decreasing from there up until, so everyone will come away that produces one with some money. One of the things that we are hoping to do with that prize money is institute a design, build, scenario so that we can do this every 2 years, have this opportunity for students to build a really awesome net zero house and create that for the community. So what is the schedule? We have conceptual design, which has been going on in the spring, and we have some students here in the audience that are part of the Architecture 303 studio that has been working on the conceptual design. This is just coming up with ideas. And then on next Wednesday, on the 27th, from 1 until 5 o'clock in the Packard building, we are going to have their review. So you guys are certainly welcome to come and take part in that and see the 28 different ideas and concepts that we're considering to take forward into the summer. So from that, we also have the design development is this summer. So we have, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but a number of courses and different ways in which students that are interested can develop that concept into a real working piece. And this is where we have the engineering and all of these students involved in developing these systems and ideas and making a really tight and innovative project going forward. So we'll run through that design development this summer, and we have a number of courses that we'll get to and talk about. And then we have, in the fall, we'll start up with the construction documentation. So part of this project is that we have several deliverables that the Department of Energy, we have to produce. So by November, we have to have, toward the end of November, we're going to have a full set of construction documents submitted to the DOE. And we need to do that because we're going to start construction in the spring. And so we'll start certain parts of it, maybe even into late fall, we might start to create and construct interior furnishings and things like that we know that are going to be developed. And then we'll be moving outdoors into full construction as soon as the weather clears out up at the Packard building in on the building pad there. So we'll do that construction, and then we'll have courses that support that. And then in summer of 2017, we'll be finishing the construction and really testing. So the idea is that we have it done, in somewhere around June, and we're actually testing out the systems and optimizing the systems and getting that ready. And then we'll send it off and take it apart and send it to Denver. And then in the fall, October of 2017, we'll take a bunch of students that have been working on it. We'll rebuild it in Denver, and then in 9 days. And then we will spend another week going through this contest and bringing the public through and developing that. All right, so what did we say you guys were going to do in this proposal? Right? How are we going to win this? And make no mistake, we want to win. It's not
our.
Yes. We are. And the reason we're going to win is because we have a whole university of very innovative research that's happening here that we can take advantage of and start to apply. And we have commitments from some of these leading researchers to help mentor and apply these projects and this research into this home. So let's start with some of the interesting things. So Dr. Matthew Taylor, and a research assistant, has been developing machine learning systems and automated control systems. So part of the project that we are developing is an automation and control system to coordinate throughout the house and start to become predictive about behaviors, matching behaviors, sensing behavior, and being able to coordinate the various systems in an optimized way. So that's part of that. And then we have the smart energy. Linked into those two pieces, WSU has one of the best smart grid programs, power energy systems in the world. And so Dr. Chen-Ching Liu and several other faculty are going to help us develop these systems that will allow for this integration into the smart grid and communication with the smart automation system. Now, this is going to, because of the rule change this year, this is going to be really perfect because they have a schedule and a list. So when we are buying energy, there's going to be a microgrid, and we're going to have a fake bank account that's running. So when we're selling energy if we're selling energy during off-peak times, we're not going to get paid for it. But if we're selling energy during peak times, we'll get paid for it. And so, likewise, we'll be buying it. So that becomes a strategy, a game of where and when do we buy and sell energy in relation to the systems that we've designed, and when we're doing these tasks say we're doing laundry, how do we time that and set up the system? So it's going to be an interesting opportunity to game the system there. And then we have in CMAC, the Composite Material Engineering Center, we have Dr. Carl England has been developing ways of recycling wind turbine blades. Little known fact that wind turbine blades are a recycling problem, and there's lots of them because they come out with new ones and they have to be replaced. So on the west side, there's some staggering number, like 500,000 tons of wind turbine blades that are sitting there that we need to figure out some way to do it, what to do with them. Dr. England has developed a material, a way and a method of processing them and putting them into building materials, composite building materials. So he's going to work with us to help design and create new building materials to be used on the project. And then finally, we have Dr. Vikram Yadama and his system of a structural 3D structural panel made out of wood fiber that he's been developing for a few years, and we've been working all semester kind of tweaking it and getting it ready. But the idea is that we have this new material and a new structural system that we can employ. And so we've had a whole graduate set of graduate students in architecture working on ways all semester to develop this system and utilize it in building this. What's great about it is that it's made up of 2 1/4-inch thick panels of wood fiber, like OSB, these wood kind of, not particle board, but fiber board. But it's corrugated and then laminated into place, and it has some very good stiffness qualities. It's very lightweight, and so it's going to help in that transportation and that modular building systems part of that. So that's work that's been done, but there's still a lot of work to be developed on that. So there's a lot of opportunity to play in that arena as well. So with that, let me just talk about this here, is that once we have this, these are all systems and research that can be applied, and that you have an opportunity to be a part of that. And then the final piece of this is we have been working with the city of Spokane, the university district, and in Spokane to find a resting place for this home. So they've begun efforts to create in the university district, which is a part of Spokane, around the Gonzaga University and WSU and downtown, to create a starter smart city. So it's a test bed for smart city technology. And all of this smart automation and smart grid systems are going to be able to be deployed there. And this house will be able to sit in there and be a part of that. So the idea is that once we're done with the contest, this becomes a model home and a visitor center showing off the smart city and technology and smart grid technology. So really, it's the future of housing and the future of design. And it's a real opportunity to build a lasting legacy. So where do you guys fit in? How can you be involved? There's several different ways. The first way is to be a part of the club and volunteer. So we're going to have the need for lots of people to swing hammers, to design and hack things, to just work and be a part of the project in numerous different ways. As you can tell from this introduction, it requires a broad range of skills and diverse viewpoints to be successful. So volunteering is going to be one of the major ways. The other is through courses. So we have, and I'll talk about those in just a little bit, many different courses that are developed around this content and to develop this project. And then we have need for leaders. We need strong student leaders. We need a core group of people that are going to be dedicated to making sure that we get this project done. And that means that they are going to have to coordinate building schedules and develop coordination of marketing apparatus, cost estimation, material ordering. I mean, every part of a project is going to be done, and the onus is going to be on the students. So although we as faculty have organized it, the idea is that this summer we start handing off these responsibilities, and it's really your project to do and to accomplish. And we're there to create a framework of mentorship to help you accomplish that. So, like I said, you can swing a hammer, you can program something, we need photographers to watch, to archive the project. We need people that will write about it and talk about it in social media. We need people that are good at graphic design, that can design the website, keep it up. We need people that are great schmoozers, people that like to be in front of people and ask for money. And people love giving money to students, let me tell you. So if you're well-spoken and have some enthusiasm, we can definitely use you there. There's also weird things like, develop a dinner menu. We have to put on these dinners, and those are judged items, so we have to, make it count. And so we've been working with the hospitality group and Chef Jamie to help in some of that, but we might have some amazing cooks here in the audience here that would be a part of that too. So this is just a very smattering of opportunities that we're going to need, and there's certainly more and probably things we're not thinking of, but if you have ideas, bring it to us and we'll talk about that. And you can do that at this website down here, solardec.wsu.edu. And you can go there right on the front page. At the top of it is the meeting poster for tonight, but if you just scroll down, the next section is a sign-up sheet, and it basically gives us all of your contact information, but there's also a part in there that says, hey, these are the skills that I have, these are what I'm interested in doing, this is how I can contribute. So fill that out, and that'll help us start to develop a good mailing list and organize from there over the summer. Okay, so now in courses, we have several different courses, and there's even more courses that are developing, and so there might be some new ones that are added in, new opportunities, but for the most part, these are the ones that we are definitely going to have. So in this whole sequence, you're going to see this top one, which is the ARC 490 and 499, 520, and 600 as they go through. But this is a special topics course, and we're going to open it up to all majors so that anybody can participate. And one of the reasons we're doing it this way is that that will allow us kind of to have one place in which we can get an integrated team. And this integrated 490 and 520, so you can take it for undergrad or graduate credit, is going to be really integrated closely with the 401, the design studio. So really it's going to meet at a very similar time. There's going to be times in overlap where you're working, and it's really an adjunct to the design studio. So the idea, if you guys have heard of IDEX Studio, the Integrated Design Experience Studios, this is about getting everybody on the table and coming up with ideas and developing the project in a holistic and integrated way. Okay? And then this daylighting course is going to be something that's offered by Judy Theodorson, who is an expert in lighting and daylighting. And that's going to be run this summer. And again, it's going to have overlap with the design studio. And then we have some internship opportunities for upper graduate architecture people. So that's going to take care of this summer. So that's going to be a part of that. And you're certainly welcome to sign up for these courses. And we would love to have many different disciplines in, and mechanical engineers and interior design, landscape, and communications people, business, math, whatever your interest and programming. Let's be a part of that. It will make the project better. Okay, and then the other thing is maybe you're not wanting to take classes, but we're going to set up some times where we're going to be meeting regularly over the summer, so that if you're not in this kind of track, you're going to still be able to pop in and participate and be a part of that design dialogue through the whole time. Okay, so in the fall, we have a whole bunch of different options there. Again, the $499 and $600. Now, this one will start to take that $499 integrated systems design. That will start to become much more focused on really what are the specific elements that we have to design, and getting the specifications down, starting to work on interoperability and really making these systems start to integrate. We have a communications course that's going to be helping develop communication strategies and techniques, and they're going to be doing that over a couple of semesters, so fall and spring. We'll have Furniture Design Studio, and that will start to develop the designs. The idea is that we build everything, that we don't really buy too many things, that we have the capability here in the university to build just about anything, so we're going to try to do that. And then we have an interior design studio that will be working on case interiors and casework and collaborating with the furniture design to develop the interiors of that, as well as daylighting, and taking that and lighting and daylighting and putting that into a much finer scope of detail. Then we have the landscape architecture design studio. They will be working on these water systems and what's the landscape, how does this start to fit in into making this all work. And then we'll have the capstone studio, which are really I'll be teaching that course, and that's really where the construction documents are going to happen. But there'll be some drawings and things that will start to happen in the integrated system studio as well. And then we'll have also an opportunity for internship to take part of that. And then there are a couple of ongoing discussions that should be firmed up here by, I'm hoping, the first part of next week, about maybe a couple more courses that are a little bit more engineering focused. So we're working on that to get that figured out. Okay, so in the spring, it's really all about building, right? So this integrated systems design studio becomes the construction studio. So for a couple hours a day, you get to come in and start swinging a hammer and build the project. Then we have the media, which will continue its messaging. And then we'll have Tectonic Studio, which will be integrated with the construction studio, but more focused on detailing and the finer kind of elements of that, the poetics of how this all comes together. And then we're going to have landscape architects who will actually start their construction of their designs that they had developed in the fall. It's really important to understand that even though these are kind of separate courses, that they're all going to be talking and integrated and overlapping. So it's not really going to be siloed. So it's more likely that you're going to have certain tasks that you're working on in your discipline group, but you're going to be coordinating and collaborating across a bunch of different disciplines. Let's see. Oops, that should say summer 2017. Sorry. then we'll have basically continuing that over through the summer to repeat and finish building it through there. So we're kind of winding down through the summer and really focused on building. Okay, so in terms of leadership, we talked about that core group of students that we're looking for. These are going to be paid positions that will basically 20 hours a week for the most part until the summer of 2017, in which there'll be 100%, like full-time job in the summer of 2017. So we have a need for a project manager, and so what we need somebody that has some incredible skill and organization, the ability to collaborate and communicate in a team environment, the ability to lead people. So in a sense, we have architecture and construction management, because mainly that is, we're building a house, so it seemed reasonable. However, if there's engineering or construction engineering or project business, there's all kinds of different experience. Maybe you worked for your dad and you've managed projects, whatever. That we'll have that open. So don't feel like that's totally, these are just where we're thinking they're going to come from. Same thing with the construction lead. We assume that that's where it's going to come from, but I was also a philosophy major at one point in time, and all I did was work in my dad building houses and cabinets and stuff, so I could have fit into this. So don't, if you think you have the experience and the interest to do it, then we'll put in the application. We have a systems lead. So this lead will be responsible for integrating all of the different engineering aspects of it, making sure that all of those systems play well with one another, and that they are meeting our deadlines and that they are working. So they'll be working on that, and we'll have a design lead that will, at a certain point, we have to start making decisions, and they can't all be by committee. So we're going to have a design lead that will make some final decisions in terms of design aspects for the most part, and making sure that that gets all done. We'll have a communications lead, which is really important to getting out our message. Part of this is to sell this project to not only the communities that we're working in, but the public when we're there. And then we're going to have some just basic slots in the summer of 2017 for just labor, construction workers, people that just to get the job done. So those are going to be available. Those applications will be available next week, so you can sign up for those. Volunteer positions. Just to say, we are anticipating that every one of these, except for the construction part of it, will start this summer at a half-time level. Okay, so it's assumed that you'd be taking some of these courses and be a part of that, or if you're not taking courses, it would be kind of half-time. So we'll talk about those kind of situations. But basically, from here, these core group of students will be taking this project all the way through until October, and then the project manager and construction lead will be into October, paid into the October realm to tie up loose ends and to make sure that it gets put together and constructed in Spokane. Then we have volunteer positions. We still need leadership in these positions, but we thought that these weren't quite to the level that they wouldn't require quite as much time. So health and safety officer, and that is someone that just makes sure that everybody is, all of the volunteers are coordinated, have been trained properly, that we're making sure that OSHA and those type of things are all being taken care of. It's really important that we do this. We have a measured contest officer. So this person is the person that we want to, that's clever, that might be considered a cheater on when he plays games. Somebody that can read the rules very carefully, and whoever that person, he or she is, meticulous, obsessive, and can interpret the rules in really interesting ways to find our edges, give us an edge. Okay. We also have a social media officer, and so we need these people that really like social media, that if you're on posting Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter all the time, this might be the place for you. We also need a social events person, and so this person is really to do a couple of things. One is to kind of head up the dinner and game night contests, make sure that's developed, but also during the year, during this process, to develop team building opportunities and making sure that that we come together as a team. So that's part of that. And then we have a market appeal officer, and part of this is going to work very closely with the communications officer, but is really kind of an adjunct to make sure that that we're hitting all of those opportunities that we can hit, and helping develop that. So it might have some graphic design and some other pieces. All right. So with that, this is your project. It really is about you taking advantage of the situation and the opportunity. We also are going to have, as you see, we have people from the community, we have other faculty members, we have all kinds of people here that are really interested in this project and want to help. And so we're not going to turn down anyone in terms of mentorship if that is a part of that. But really, this is a student-focused project, and you, the students, will be doing the work. And so sign up at Solar Deck. Tell us what you're interested in doing and where you want to fit in. Spread this around. If you have friends, we need as many people as we can that are interested and passionate about doing this. So get that out and start to recruit some people so this can be a fun project for everyone. And these are just some images of last year's Solar Decathlon. So these are students on the site setting up the solar panels. This is the Texas project that they built, and this is the Buffalo project, and this is an interior. You can see a student giving the presentation and taking the public through there. And you can see there's thousands of people that go through this project every year, or every time it's put on. Thousands of people that come, and so it's a great opportunity. And I went there last year. Last year was they do it every 2 years, and last year I went in October, and I talked to a lot of the students, and it was really palpable that even though they were just exhausted and tired, they were really enthusiastic and excited about the opportunity and very proud of what they have accomplished. And these are amazing. These are really amazing. They're well built, well designed, really thought out and interesting, and really lots of great ideas. And I know that we have in this university students that can blow this stuff away. So I'm hoping that you guys are interested. Sign up, and yeah. So there's the Facebook page, and so we're gonna use this as a way to keep in contact. So we'll be posting information on here. Like this page, share this with the people that you think will be interested in, and we're going to use that as a clearinghouse. We also have the solar. So here's our Solar Decathlon website, and here's that student team sign up. So that's where you can go to and sign up there. And so between those two, get in touch, get involved in both of those, and make sure that we have your info and we can continue moving forward. So other questions?
Just two other things.
So with that, I want to thank you for all coming, and I've created a video of this, and I'll put that up on the website so that people that weren't able to make it can get that information. So if you know people that weren't able to come, just point them to the website. We'll have that up there here shortly in a day or so to make sure that they can get that information. Okay. Sign up for the Facebook page, and so that way we can keep in contact with you all. And thanks for coming.